Good day, my friends. Welcome back. In this video, I wanted to explain a lesson that I've found valuable and that I've seen other people struggle with. I'm sure there was a time where I struggled with it as well. Before I understood to consider things a little bit differently. And that message is, or lesson is, focusing on the substance of a message rather than the messenger. Because there's times when a message of substance is being delivered that we never get to benefit from the substance of that message because we're being so judgmental of how the message is conveyed, or being judgmental of the messenger. This is part of the inspiration for why I provide my content in the manner that I do. Because once there's a more substantial expression of a person being demonstrated with this content, the focus can at that point be given to the person rather than given directly to the message. It almost provides a distraction away from the message. The deepest spirituality, from my experience, is always meant to point you home. It's always meant to point you inward. It's not intended to draw your attention externally and outside of yourself. And if my body was on the screen in front of you right now, it could provide an encouragement to project your attention outside of yourself. But seeing as there's nothing glamorous about this message externally, it allows you to be less stimulated externally. And at the same time, promote an inner rest, undistracted. That doesn't mean that the inner rest and sense of no distraction will be there. But it's more promoted in this manner. What determines that inner rest and sense of undistractedness, or the removal of stimulation, is your very own conscious awareness. What are you doing with your consciousness? Is your mind saying, this is boring? Is your mind saying, this is not stimulating enough? Those are the ego's external graspings. That's the ego searching for external stimulation because you have learned to lean on the ego's interpretation for direction in this moment of your experience. From my understanding, one of the reasons that the Buddha said, "Make no images of me," was because of this teaching that I'm conveying today. He didn't want his persona to detract from the essence of the message. And it's the essence of the message that is transformative, not the messenger. Never the messenger. Spirit's saying, and Jesus is saying to me spiritually right now, never the messenger. Jesus' essence and his teachings were what were transforming, not his physicality. And it's your essence and your spirit that's transforming, not your physicality, not my physicality. All right, so it's a valuable lesson, and not all spiritual teachers / mentors really encourage it, and some might not encourage it because they're still trying to promote themselves as an authority, as an expert, and create a sort of dependency on them. And it's possible that you hearing me say these things might make you aware that you are giving your power and authority away to someone else. Spiritually. When that power is within you. The intention behind spirituality is to cultivate that awareness so you have it for yourself. The inner guru is you. Is you. Is you. If you're allowing anybody to be your authority, let them be your authority on cultivating that receptivity, that awareness, that inner connection. And once you've touched it significantly enough and substantially enough and consistently enough, you've got it. You've become independent. You no longer need to rely on anyone else's spiritual interpretation because Spirit provides the revelation unbiasedly. All right, so message over the messenger. Contemplate for yourself. Is that your current posture? Contemplate if you're having a judgmental reaction to my expression of sharing this content. Are you saying it's not professional enough, so it lacks substance, it lacks significance? Would you deny substance because it's not wrapped up in the bow that your ego prefers? We either align with substance or we deny it. Truth isn't a bias. Truth isn't based on preference, personal preference. Truth is true, whether our ego enjoys it or not. If you think a sad thought, you will create the emotion of sadness 100% of the time. Truth is true. Creation is perfect in that manner. And a lot of times all times when we're developing spiritually, we are transcending our limitations, and our limitations are this ego, carnal, earthly minded interpretation. And that is the source of judgment and condemnation. So it's very easy to understand how being judgmental of the messenger is an obstacle. And it is also clear how if you're being judgmental of the messenger, then in that moment, you're activating a limitation and a program of the ego. It's coming up to your awareness to be transcended, potentially, or to be reinstalled and suffer its limitation and limited perspective / interpretation. All right. It's a beautiful lesson. It's a valuable and beneficial lesson. No one can force you to grow beyond what you're consciously intending to grow. But it's an easy one to consider and apply when you're mindfully inspired to. So with that, bless you, my friends. We'll talk soon.